She changed my life completely, and I'm so grateful for her. But the one I'm mostly grateful to is my son Nathan, dude.
How old's Nathan?
Nathan's 7, going to be turning 7. And you know, when people ask you who saved your life, that kid saved my life. Because when I gave up hope, he was the reason why I stayed above water. And the only person I could thank for that is God. You get me? Because my whole life, I've always said, man, why God gave me this hard life? Until I finally understand that He doesn't give His warriors that are weak hard lives, because He knows what's the point of breaking somebody that's going to break down. Like if I know that you can't carry 50 pounds, why would I give you 50 pounds? I would want to make your life as hard as possible, but still make you manage. So I know the battles that I've gone through and I still have to go through. When I feel pain, that pain goes to God. And when I win, all that glory goes to God as well.
Go ahead and talk into your mic.
Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3.
Press the button on the side of it. Yo, my shit's loud. Mine's good. Go ahead, speak like at my level, how I'm speaking.
All right, speaking at your level. Go better or no?
No.
No. Testing one more time.
Maybe it's just your voice.
I don't know. I do speak loud. Man. How about now? How about now? Same thing. Same thing. And I walked in, man. I don't know what we were shooting. I was like, I didn't sign up for a red carpet.
OF content?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, man. You see a red couch, you're like, I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, I didn't even notice that.
I don't know. People are probably gonna see that.
Oh, there you go.
People are gonna see this and be like, nah, man. This guy just likes to joke around too much, man.
Who, me?
Me, man. I talk a lot. I have very dark humor. Very dark humor.
Same here, man.
So, certain people get offended when I end up saying things personally.
You know what, man? Fuck them.
I'm kidding. No, I agree with you with that, though, man, because at the end of the day, I'd rather be real and people like me for who I am than be fake and people like me for somebody I'm not.
See, the thing is, man, like, we're all someone different, I think, in different capacities in our life.
Yeah.
Right? I think we are, right? Like, we're not the same when you meet the girls that you're dating. When you meet their parents, you're not the same with them. Or
you definitely show different sides. You show different sides. I agree with you 100%.
So, yeah, there's different sides to all of us. And but at the end of the day, like when it's like my social media stuff, it's like, man, this is who I am. Like I have a certain sense of humor. If you vibe with it, that's cool. If you don't, then that's also cool.
But the reason I say that is because you know who Nelson Mandela is, right?
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela said something that is very, very interesting to me. It says, there's 3 things in life you need to know is surround yourself with people that when they see you with joy. And that's the reason I say that too. Like I want to be around people that actually care for me, not be around people that are just, yeah, he's cool. I think a lot of people are cool, but I don't want to be around them. You get me? Like I get the... And it's funny how we're talking about this today is the day that I met one of my idols. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are one thing online and another thing in real life.
So that guy that you met, he's your idol or Rocky's idol?
My idol.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've met a lot of famous people in different gyms. I've met Arnold Schwarzenegger and I do bodybuilding.
Right. I
was like, yeah, he's cool. Yeah, he did his thing. Like I admire it. Don't get me wrong. I don't take credit from people. But I do, if it doesn't interest me, I'm not going to lie to somebody either. Be like, oh, I'm such a fan when I'm really not a fan. This guy is somebody that the type of mentality he has is cut the heads and start fresh. So I admire that because growing up, I had a lot of friends that were fake, man. And that's one of the main reasons I don't drink. And I took this trip as a personal challenge because last time I came here, I did a mess. And I told myself I'll never again come back to the city. And I'm here doing a podcast with you. I met one of my idols. I ended up working out with my coach. I ended up going to one of the most famous gyms in Las Vegas called Dragon's Lair. So for me, I turned that image of Las Vegas around for me. And that's the reason one thing you said is true is things change. But I don't think things change. I think perspectives change. Because you can see something like, I don't like it now, and 2 years later, like, I really like that, because perspectives change.
I think, well, I mean, perspective, maturity, age, where you're at in your mind. That lady told you last night, well, good thing that you actually came and that you're doing it different this time, because now it's a different experience, right? So I remember coming to Vegas and partying like for many, many years, dude. Yeah. And that's all it was. It was partying. Like, you're partying on the way here, you're pre-gaming on the way here, you get here, and it just doesn't stop. All right. So like it can be 6 in the morning and you're at another place. It could be 2 in the afternoon and like you're just going, and it's just days, and you're inside the hotel. You don't know what fucking time it is.
Yeah, I know what you mean, 100%. If I tell you the story why, the main reason why I hate Vegas is first time I ever came, I came when like everybody else, basic 21-year-old birthday party, right? This story's gonna make you laugh.
Okay, let's go.
I came with my and I'm gonna say the real names.
Okay,
because the story got to be real.
It has to be real. We're gonna get him in trouble.
We'll bleep him out. My buddy Johan's gonna be like, man, fuck that guy. So I came with my buddy Johan, that was my best friend. Johan.
What's up, Johan?
He's a Colombian, and me and him
we
would walk from school, and me and him will say this, man, I only walk with the ones I only drive with the ones I walk, I only eat with the ones that starve with, and I only will be with the ones that appreciate me. So me and him have always been like 2 peas in a pod. But when we came to Vegas, he got kicked out of his house, so he moved in with his girlfriend. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a guy's trip, right? When you do 21-year-old party for somebody, you go like, yeah, it's all the guys.
You don't take sand to the beach.
He brought his girlfriend with him. She's a cool girl. Nothing against her. Star's a cool girl. So we came here and we were having a good time. We were here for 4 days. I paid for everything. I paid for the hotel. They just had to buy their own drinks, their own food. But everything else was on my card, right? And we ended up started drinking very early. Next thing you know, of course, as every 21-year-old, and this is the reason I don't go to strip clubs anymore neither. I hate strip clubs. And I hope if she ever sees this video and she sees my face, that she knows I hate her too.
The stripper?
The stripper that's I say she's
What's your name? Destiny.
That one I don't remember. But so we started drinking, right? And next thing you know, we were hanging out, and then my buddy is a carrot top. His name is Jesse. He goes, we should go to a strip club. Of course, everybody thinking I'm just with a bunch of guys, forgetting that he brought his girlfriend. Yeah. And even she said, yeah, man. So everybody's like, all right, we're cool. We're going to keep drinking. Then we'll go on later on. We come downstairs. And then next thing you know, Star turns around and tells my buddy, Johan, I can't believe you're going. He goes, well, you agreed to it. So they start arguing in the lobby. I'm like, oh, man. Whatever, man. I'm going to go ahead and take them up. Like, he goes, dude, I'm not going to go because she's killing my vibe.
Yeah.
Well, whatever, man. Let's go up to the room and then have fun. And then by the time they were done arguing, I lost my friend Jesse. So now I'm looking for Jesse.
Is he with Mike Tyson and the Tiger?
That one I did not know. He disappeared for a good while. Next thing you know, security tells me, hey, man, you go check in your room because we're getting complaints that they hear 2 people fighting. So next thing you know, I'm going up to my room. And I get up there and my friend Johan goes, fuck this. This is my part of the hotel. This is her part of the hotel. I'm like, dude, there's only one bathroom. I'm like, you took the bathroom. That's fucked up. Then he goes, no, fuck this, man. Why she said yes when she does not want to go? I'm like, dude, she's your chick. Just have fun with her, dude. And then, whatever, man. He stayed behind, right? I'm like, where the fuck is Jesse? I go downstairs. I'm like, Jesse fucking disappeared. So I see Jesse at the pool table that they had. It was at the Trump. We were at the Trump at the time, and it was back in 2010. He was at playing pool, and he's telling me, yeah, some couple comes up to me and takes me up to their room and says that they wanted me to date his daughter. I'm like, that's weird. So next thing you know, we're waiting for the shuttle to take us to the strip club. We get to the strip club. I see Jesse drunk as hell. So I'm like, fuck, man, Jesse, I gotta take you back. So we take Jesse back. And then when we get back, Jesse's like, no, I'm sober, dude. I'm sober. But once we get to the hotel, they tell me again, dude, you got to go check out what's going on with your room. They say they're starting to hear people fight. Yeah. I get up there. Johan's throwing things across the room. He goes, dude, I'm tired. And I'm like, Johan, I'm drunk as shit. You're drunk as shit. Jesse's fucked up. And he goes, who's in a, and we drove there. I'm like, who the fuck's in a drive, dude?
Right.
So we're fucked if we get kicked out. And he finally understood. He's like, all right, man, I'm going to go to sleep. And he finally went to sleep. This is where it gets funny. I look back looking for Jesse. Jesse's gone again. He's in the elevator waiting for me, saying that he's okay. I'm like, whatever, dude. I like the commitment.
Fuck it, let's go.
I pushed. We were on the 40th floor. So it was, you know, when you drop down, you have that drop of gravity because you're going down in the elevator. This guy, I pushed the lobby. The elevator drops. He goes face planting straight into the elevator. I'm like, no, dude, I cannot take you. I cannot take you. So I take him back up. And then I'm like, Jesse, stay here. Like, don't go nowhere else. Just go to sleep. He's like, all right. So now I'm going downstairs. Security stops me. Like, everything's good. I'm like, yeah, everything's good. They start asking me what happened. I stayed talking to them for a good while, right? My buddy like had some at the time. You get me being young. He was taking some. He took a Xanax bar, so he was not fully there. He was drunk and not fully there.
Yeah.
So when I finally made it to the fucking strip club, the Diamond Strip Club, guess who I end up seeing there?
Jesse?
What the fuck? And Jesse has no more money. Trying to have a good time and drunk as hell. So now I don't have no shuttle, and we had to go all the way from the Diamond Strip Club all the way back to our hotel. So I grab him from the collar. I'm like, come on, you dumb fuck, man. And I'm over here trying to have a good time. And every time I turn, it's rather you or Johan. So he's like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. And we start going back. So I finally get back to the strip club on my own. Jesse's finally asleep. And I'm already hammered, dude, because I'm already tired of and fed up. And this stripper goes like, yeah, you should go with me to the private room. My dumbass goes, yeah, you're right.
We should.
And then I was trying to have a good time.
I'm trying to give you some money.
This is where I got pissed off. That if she would have told me go pull out so much, she made me. We got to a Dom Perignon bottle, and that she made me pull out $800 to spend that day. I don't mind spending the $800. I'm more pissed off how she convinced me to do it. She goes, "Come on, I know you got it, looking like a young Denzel Washington." I woke up the next day $800 short and looking at myself in the mirror saying, "I have no resemblance to Denzel Washington." She can't at least lie to me, said Aventura, dude. Like I would have been like, I could take that. I was like, where the hell did she get Denzel Washington?
I do look like fucking Denzel.
And then I use his favorite part of training day, and I look at myself in the mirror. I guarantee you, when I was at the club, like, and ever since then, I told myself I'll never go back to a strip club because
I'm gonna believe everything they fucking tell me. It's you know what, dude? Those fucking stories, man. I've had many nights that resemble shit like that, and the thing is, like, days, bro. Like days like that. Yeah. Like especially when you go on vacation and you go other places, and sometimes it's one person, sometimes it's me, and like I look back and they're fun stories, and thankfully, I'm alive and I'm good, and but I've lived a life, man. I could tell you some fucking stories, bro. But at the end of the day, I'm glad I went through them. I'm glad I experienced all that shit. But I'm in a better place now. Yeah. Like, way better place. Where it's like, dude, I fucking did a whole lot of shit, and it was a whole lot of fun, but my perspective has changed. Like, yesterday, I was looking, and I know it sounds fucking weird, but the Irish bar. I was fascinated by the fucking architecture downstairs, right? Yeah. Like, the pub. I'm just like, fuck, dude, like, the decorations and all that shit. Me, 15 years ago, 11 years ago, give me another shot. Give me another shot. Like, the night would have just kept fucking going. And I would have been hurting. I wouldn't be fucking doing this podcast right now. Sloppy as hell. I agree with you on that 100%. You learn to enjoy yourself differently. And going through so many hardships, like, not hardships, but going through so many good and traumatic experiences, you learn to be by yourself so many, like, at least me, I learned to be by myself so long that I was like, that's when I finally fell in love with who I am and knew that I didn't need to drink and give people a show for them to like me. Did you stop drinking because you, like, something happened, or it was just like accumulation of things? So me quitting drinking comes from a long story. It's not long, but for me it is because it's been my whole life.
So when I was young, when I was about to be born, my dad dipped out on my mom because he was doing drugs and alcohol. So when you're a kid, you really don't understand the traumas that are given to you. Um, and then we looked out for my dad's side of the family, trying to find him and trying to still be social with them. And instead of them saying, you know what, you guys are my nephews and nieces and open doors and open arms, we got more to a slap to the face. Hey, he's not here. Cool. At the time, my whole life, I've never understood that I wanted to look for a dad. And unfortunately, I found out very too late that God or whatever's bigger for me. I have a strong belief in God because He gave me my grandfather that was my dad. I was just too belligerent trying to find my real dad, not realizing that the father that really helped raise me was right in front of my eyes.
What's his name?
His name is Jose Cruz.
Okay.
And everybody always asks me because on my truck I have J Cruz 5'3". One of my favorite tattoos I have is a domino.
Okay.
Because he
5'3"?
5'3". His date of birth was May 3rd, and he used to get under my skin playing dominoes. And he had that. You know, some people have certain things that just get under your skin. His laugh was so gentle, but so like cutting to the deepest root in my skin that I would be like, man, I would fight my grandfather. But he would always laugh at me like, you know what? You should learn to gamble, because if you want to gamble or want to be around anybody, people are going to get under your skin. He was trying to teach me a lesson, but at the time, I'll take it personal.
Yeah.
But going back to my dad, he finally came back to our life when I was older. So for me, that the image of my grandfather taking over, not knowing I already had my father in my eyes, so I was trying to please another man when the picture was already taken. And I never felt enough. So every time I'll meet somebody, I was never taught how to give and take love, because in my head, alcohol was better than love. Because if my dad was able to walk out on the woman he loves and my sister and me for alcohol, I was thinking it was the same thing. Lucky enough, he actually came back sober. So I respect him. I have a high amount of respect for him because he went cold turkey. And I always like making people jack because I like making them laugh. Like, how did he go to cold turkey? Oh, he switched to Coke. And then people are like, what do you mean? I'm like, no, not cocaine. Coca-Cola. So I have a tattoo of a Coca-Cola
Coke
can.
bottle.
And the C part is a scar.
Okay.
And the reason I got it that way done is because it stands for things can happen to you, but you determine how they come out. And that's when I finally realized, I was like, you know what? I don't need to search people. I don't have to keep searching for my dad's approval. I'm happy with who I am. And now at the age I am, me and my real dad are trying to have a relationship. It's just hard. But this is for anybody that really understands having kids. I do say this. It's never the son's job to fix the broken relationship with his father. No matter if your son is 50, 80, and you're 100, 200, it's always the father's job to fix that. So I'm at the point where I'm done. If he wants to look for me, he can look for me. My job is to make sure my son gets raised with my son gets raised with his dad in his eyes and with a good relationship. Change happens with one person, and I want to be that one person.
It's a lot of people say it's the way I'm built, it's the way I am, it's what happened to me. And it's like, nah, you can change the story, man.
Yeah.
Change the fucking story. That's all it is.
I do give my real dad respect, because he actually showed me that you can quit. And when I quit smoking, drinking, cocaine, all the fucking happy drugs, cold turkey. And the reason...
NyQuil?
Oh, I didn't know. It's funny, dude, because I still use NyQuil to this. Man, sometimes when you can't sleep, man, I'm taking 80 milligrams of melatonin, and all it does is give me vivid dreams when I finally fall asleep.
Bro, if I take NyQuil, like the following day, I'm groggy as fuck.
Yeah?
Like super groggy. I don't take Claritin. Like I'll get allergies, right? Or if I'm sick, like NyQuil, because I really want to go to sleep. But like ZQuil or NyQuil, just to fucking take it. Anything that's like a muscle relaxer or depressant, like let's say NyQuil, like has alcohol in it, make you go to sleep, I'm fucked up the next day for a good 6 hours after I wake up.
Yeah,
it hits me that hard. Like, and I think it's just different bodies, right? Like,
yeah,
we react different. just like the Asian glow, like, right? You're Asian, you drink too much, you like, you know,
You get a nice little glow.
and get a nice little glow. So when your dad came back, how old were you when your pops came back?
He came back when I was around 8 to 10. I can't really give you the exact date because that's a good time of my life where I chose to block out a lot of things. And so I was able to understand that my dad was back in my life, but not understanding why he left. So that came later on when he tried to educate me. But the thing is, he was trying to be a dad when it was already too late, when I was already going through my adolescent side. And my whole life I was lost. I tell this to everybody. When my grandfather passed away, I went through a very big depression state because my whole life I was lost looking for my real dad. And my grandfather was the only one that chased after me. So when he left, I felt that nobody was ever going to go look for me if I ever got lost again. So I went to a panic mode and said, you know what? I can't live without this man. And I remember him telling me one day when I was younger, when my grandma passed away, he goes, "You ain't gonna cry for me when I die like you cry for your grandma." When my grandma died, I went into shock. I just didn't talk to people for 2 weeks because I couldn't understand losing somebody you love.
How old are you? Do you remember?
I was 18 when my grandma died.
Okay.
I was 26 when my grandfather died. And when he passed away, my life was done. And I had my son already. I was not willing. I was willing to just die. Like everything that I loved was gone. Like you can even hear it when I said it. They're like, if I am the man I am today, I think two people is my mother and my grandfather. And I would trade. I'm a shoe fanatic. I have a good amount of shoes, and I give a lot of them away to kids. And we'll go to that story later on when we go into the fitness side. But I'll trade every single shoe just for one day with my grandfather. And the craziest part is not to spend it with him, just to tell him that I actually love him. Because as Latinos, we're never taught to tell your father you love him. And I never got to tell him that what he meant to me. Even though I felt that he knew, I never said it. And not saying something hurts as much as losing somebody. And I will trade any material thing I have just to be able to tell him, you know what, I love you. And I know that he died in peace knowing that I was in the right route. I got lost again, but I do say he found me even in the afterlife. And I am very grateful for that person in my life.
My grandfather was an awesome man. I remember the call that I got when he passed away, man. And I lost it. I lost it when I lost my grandmother, man, I was in 8th grade. And the thing is, we were really close to them, both of them. And they both live with me, right? Like growing up, they both live with us. Not we want to go visit them. It's like, no, your abuelita lives in that room and that's her room. And, I would go hang out with her. I would crochet with her. She taught me how to crochet.
Yeah.
I'd sit there with her. We'd watch classical music. We'd watch movies together, me and my grandmother. I was the first grandchild for her and my grandfather. And my grandfather wasn't my mom's real dad.
Okay.
Right? So he raised her since she was a baby. Right? And it's like, he's my fucking grandfather. I don't know who the fuck her dad is. And my mom don't know who her dad is. But that's her fucking dad. Right? My abuelito.
Let me tell you this one. This is something some guy told me. It's never who brought. Nunca es de donde vino la vaca. Ya es del corral. You know what that means?
Yeah.
It's never where the cattle came from. It is she's already from the barn.
Yeah.
So that's what I get what you mean 100%.
Bro, and I remember I was with a lady friend when I got the call about my grandfather. And it was just like the world fell apart. When my grandmother passed away when I was in 8th grade, I was younger, obviously. And it took me a minute. It took a minute for it to kind of hit me. My brothers fucking couldn't take it. But when my grandfather died, I was already in my 20s, and I get you.
Yeah.
You know, I get it 100%. He's this man right here, looking like a fucking narco. But
Wow.
as my grandmother's up here, and so it's like how you said, like Latinos, um, a lot of Latinos that I talk to, it's like they grow up super close to their grandparents. Like you don't put them in a home.
Mm-mm.
You know, you take care of them. You take care of them. They took care of you. You know, the one thing that I am proud of on my family side, and someone sent me a DM today, and they said, "Man, that's so sweet how you are with your brothers." So I tell them I love them all the time. I tell my dad I love him all the time. My mom, hugs, kisses. If I were to die tomorrow, or if I was to die tonight, everybody I love knows I fucking love them. And I fucking said it. I'm not going to fucking get in a car accident and be like, well, how did George feel about me? It's like, no, motherfucker, you know how I felt about you. I'm going to fucking make it known.
I respect that, because for me, that's my hardest thing that I have to deal with. And it's funny because on this trip, we went to watch a hockey game yesterday, right?
Mhm.
And 50 Cent was there.
Oh, okay.
I idolize 50 Cent a lot because he says a quote. He came on and said a quote. A lot of time people have someone they can run to. You have a brother, cousin, somebody that, oh, you get your ass whooped. Oh, yeah, let me go get my cousin and we'll get my brother. I never had nobody, just like 50 Cent said. I'm like, who the hell am I going to go grab myself? Like, my dad never gave a fuck about me. I don't want to get my grandparents involved because instead of coming to help me out, they're going to try to be like, it's not worth it. Of course, you get me. When people care about you, they really know that it's not worth it.
Right.
But growing up as a kid, sometimes you got to actually put your foot down and step up and be like, you know what? You can't take advantage of me no more. And the reason I say that is because I'm always been taught that protection is what shows that you love somebody. But just like I said, I think I have to get used to saying to people, you know what, I love you, man. Because it's very simple, but it's not. Because it's simple. Everything in life is really simple if you really look at it. If you don't want to be with somebody, it's easy to say, you know what, I'm done. If you want to tell somebody you love them, but you're scared, that means you don't love them. It's very simple. Just saying, yeah, I love you. But it's traumas that cause it and make you, you know what, I don't think I'm ready. But I am working on that. That's something that I've been doing more often. If I love somebody, I'm going to tell you I love you, because exactly like you said, tomorrow is not promised. So I'd rather die knowing that I told you how I felt, let it be good or bad, but I'm not taking that with me. I take that with my grandfather. I'm not taking it with me anymore.
It's like you said, he knew that you loved him, right? I think like the people that are around us, they know how we feel about him, man. You know, I mean, they should, shit, they should, right? It's funny is that my dad's like that. My dad doesn't say I love you. Like, he's told me many times, you know, he sat us down and he's like, man, like, I care about you guys. I love you guys in a very, it's like a moment type thing, right? And he'll express his feelings. But when I hang up the phone, love you, Dad, he don't fucking say it back, bro.
You want to know something funny? Is when my real dad, now that we are trying to build a relationship, every once in a while when he calls me and we're talking on the phone, it's never like we're gonna end the phone call and it's like a moment of awkward silence.
No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Yeah, you know those type of days. But for me and him, it's more like who's gonna say it first? And just goes. It's funny when it happens. You just go, I love you, like you just like you sneezed, but. It's but for me and him, it's hard because we never had that relationship. But I do give him respect in a lot of things, because not being the ideal father I wanted taught me what I want to be for my kids. And there's something that somebody told me is everybody always says this, and I get upset now when I hear it. I want to give my kids what I didn't have. Fuck that, man. I want to give my kids what my parents didn't have. Because imagine, a lot of people, like being Latinos, imagine if your parents would have had an education, how better your life would have been. It's not, people, we're so selfish to say, you know what, I want to have what I didn't have. Everybody does it. But if your parents had more, you would have had more. But people don't see it like that. We're always selfish and saying, me. It's like, no, man, if I would be able to change something, I'll give my mom what she didn't have. Because I know she would have been a more amazing mother than what she is. And I love my mom to death, man. And the reason I say that is because people, we don't see really what happens. You say you wish you would have had more, but maybe that's all they were able to give you. Like, I know there was times my mom went without eating to give me food. You get me? Like, and I want to say I wanted more. That's the definition of true love. You get me? Like, why would I say I wanted more? No, if anything, I would want to give her more for she could be able to give me more. And I love my mom to death. I'm telling you, man, that lady, the reason I'm good at talking and she taught me a skill is you choose who you want to be friendly with. And when you know your presence is not valued, leave. And my grandfather told me another quote. He says, es mejor que haya una persona loca en la casa en vez de dos. And I'm a hothead, dude. You start arguing with me. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the post people put, like, I've been knowing I was wrong 10 minutes ago. Now I'm just trying to piss you off. But going back to the journey, the reason I got into fitness is because of my grandfather.
Really?
So my grandfather would wake me up at 5 a.m. and he was military in Mexico.
Okay.
So I was doing burpees at the age of 8, just with him, you get me, just doing burpees. So he sparked that interest in me at a very young age. And still to this day, the days that I feel the most alone, I wake up at 5 a.m. when he used to wake me up and go work out, and I feel close to him still to this day. So he still has those moments with me, and he sparked that interest. And I'm very grateful because I would have not won my first competition. But for you to see how much I love this man, when I won my competition, you always look for the person you love a lot, right? I didn't even care that my real dad didn't go to the competition. My eyes got teary because I looked down and I was hoping he was there because that win was for him. But since I didn't see him, I was like, you know what? He knows that he had a part of this. And through my first competition that I won, dude, I went through so many obstacles and shit that I'm amazed that we won. But what made that victory so happy for me, it wasn't winning, dude. It was my son seeing that his dad had a dream and went for it and didn't leave nothing on the table. And I have a video of my son crying and saying how happy he was. Because now I opened a door in his head saying, you know what, if I have a dream, I'm going to go for it. No matter how big, no matter how small. Because I can ask you a question. If you were able to dream so big, knowing that you could achieve it, how big will your dream be?
It's a BHAG.
But you get me?
Yeah, so in our industry, or the coaching is have a big, hairy, audacious goal. Like, what is the big, hairy, audacious goal?
Yeah.
And if what if your dream actually came true? But if you don't dream, if you don't try, if you don't give it that attempt, it's never gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
So the gentleman that you guys met at the game last night, Rocky.
Yeah.
Right?
1 or 2, because we have 1 and 2 here right now.
No, the gentleman that you met at the game, 47 years old, started boxing at 47, won his first title at 49. And so he said, you know what? Like, he saw the movie about Boa, and he said, I just want to do it. Like, I'm gonna try. I want to give myself a shot at doing something. So it's a dream. But a lot of us aren't willing to pay the price for the dream of what you do, right? Which is bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Did that happen? Did it start after you became sober or before?
After. And when I tell you why I decided to compete, you're gonna be like, this motherfucker's crazy. So I'm an engineer, and I used to work with a guy named Randy Bowie.
Okay.
He was an older African American.
Hold on, you keep going, man. I want to check something.
He was an older African American that I told him, like, hey, Bowie, I was fat, dude, at the time. I was 260. I'll send you the photo of when I started and how I ended up. I was 268 pounds. When I competed, I was 200 pounds even. So 68-pound difference. And the reason I decided to start competing was because I told him, like, hey, Bowie, I think I could do bodybuilding if I actually put myself the goal. He looks at me day and night and goes, you? And he had that he was 74 years old, dude. A 74-year-old telling me, you don't got the genetics. Him telling me I didn't have the genetics sparked a fire in my ass so fucking big. I said, bet. Bet. And to be fair, he betted me $200. And if he ever sees it, I don't know if he watches YouTube, or if he ever watches a pod, he owes me $200. I need my $200. But you get me? It takes somebody just not willing to believe your dreams to be like, you know what? And this is a quote I tell people is, nobody ever is going to tell me what I can and cannot do, because only I could determine that. Because I can tell you, oh, you're not going to be a good podcast director or be big in what you want to do. I can't determine that. That's up to you. How much you can't reap the benefit of a fruit that you do not bear. And him doing that's all right. Let's get this. And
you used to work with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I worked with him for a year, 2 years, every single day, and he had the audacity to tell me, "No, you don't got the genetics."
Nah, bro. I don't believe in you.
Yeah, but
sometimes, do you think he did that on purpose to motivate you, or was it just like a real "I don't fucking believe in you"?
Nah, he did it. He did not believe in me. Because closer we got, the bet was $100.
Yeah.
The closer we got, it was $200. He upped it up.
Okay.
And dude, I can't believe I won my first competition because I started off with a different coach, and this coach had me eating carbs still like 6 weeks out of my competition, when it's unknown of. And I had a opposing coach. His name is Brock.
Lesnar?
No. Brock. I'll say I can't pronounce his last name, so I'll let you link it in the description. But he was my posing coach, so he didn't do my meal plan or nothing. He just goes, "Hey, dude, you got 2 options." Because I called him one day. I was like, "Dude, I can't do this shit, man. Like, I feel like dropping out." And
how long did you prepare for that first competition?
20 weeks.
Okay.
So it was a good. Most preps are 16 weeks, 13 weeks. No, mine was longer. Because I pushed the competition back one time. And I remember I'm like, "Hey, Brock, do you have a moment? I just want to talk to you. Like, I think I'm going to pull out of the competition." He goes, "No, give me a call." I gave him a call that day, and he goes, "We have 2 options. You could pull out the competition and be like, you know what, it's done deal." Because throughout my whole prep, I went under 3 ulcers. Oh, wow. So I developed 3 ulcers. Imagine having to put food down and you cannot eat, because as soon as you eat, you feel like somebody's stabbing you in the stomach.
Yeah.
I pushed through that. And he goes, "Yeah, dude, you pushed through 3 ulcers and you're still going forward. You got 2 options. You pull out. You could go ahead and get out the competition and be like, you know what, we'll try again another year. Or we commit and we move forward, and you move forward with me as your coach, but you follow every single thing I tell you to do." And I was doing 40 minutes of fasted cardio in the morning, go work out after that. And then I'll go to work, do my 8-hour shift, get out, do another 40 minutes of cardio, eating like fucking berries and shit. But no, he had me on a good diet, I'm not going to lie. But compared to, for my size, what I was eating, dude, I was like really scratching the surface. I was so hungry throughout the last 6 weeks. But it paid off because we won the competition. And when I called him, I'm like, "Dude, we did it." He goes, "Yeah, dude, we did it with so many obstacles." He goes, "Give me 1 year with a growth phase where we can grow and add on as much muscle. We ain't leaving nothing on the table." And it's funny because we came out here, and now the past 2 weeks, I'm like, "I'm going to go on vacation with Rocky, and I'm going to meet George." So I'm going to eat here and there. And the 2 weeks he called me, he goes, "Hey, dude, you don't look the same. You're looking a little fluffy." And the day before we flew out here, I got in my feelings, dude. I'm not lying to you. And this is where you really got to dig deep and talk to yourself and be like, "Hey, man, is it me or is it him?" Nah, it was me, dude. I was the one that chose to go eat those pastries. I was the person that was putting the extra carbs in my body, not doing my cardio. And he called me out. And when I came and saw him at the gym, he goes, "Yeah, dude, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear."
Right now? Today?
Yeah, no, it was yesterday.
Okay.
He goes, "I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. Sometimes you need to hear the hard, cold truth." And don't get me wrong, I pay him to be my coach. He could be like, "Oh, no, we're good. We're good." That shows you how good of a coach he is, because he's like, "You know what? I don't even care about the money, dude. You're falling behind." You get me? And I respect him for that.
So hold on. So the first time that you competed was because you wanted to show someone that they were fucking wrong and they couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But how does that even? So I see a lot of people do the 70 hard, the 90 hard, and they're posting shit on all over their stories. And I'm just like, that shit's easy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking easy. Working out is easy. It's just the commitment. That's the fucking hard part.
Yeah.
You know? But you guys were just shit talking back and forth, and then all of a sudden bodybuilding came up?
No, so as everybody, I follow a lot of I would see a lot of bodybuilding.
Okay.
And then one time I asked my, hey, Bowie, man, because this is where it gets funny, because he would not do most of the work at work, and I'll do his work for him.
Okay.
But he'll bring food every night.
Okay.
So I was eating Wingstop every night. I was eating Yoshinoya. I was eating big gumbo plates. He was feeding me good, dude, but I was getting fat as hell. But so when I'm like, dude, I need a diet, he goes, no, you don't. Because he knew as soon as I stopped eating what he was bringing me, he had to do his own work. Because you gave me, when you do somebody a favor, they expect something in return, especially the old school generation. So when I told him, like, hey, Bowie, man, I don't think I could eat with you no more, man. I gotta lose some weight, man. I'm trying to look good. He goes, yeah, man, I don't think you can lose the weight. I'm like, man, and that's when it sparked the interest. And he's like, man, what you mean I can't lose the weight? If I wanted to, I could be a bodybuilder. He goes, no, you don't got the genetics. And that's what started
crazy, dude. How many years ago was that?
That was 3 years ago.
Okay.
And I try to do it on my own, and it's hard to do it on your own. Sometimes you need somebody to coach you through the steps.
So the first time was on your own, right?
Yeah.
And then the second time was
with Brock.
Okay. And then the third time is right now? It's
coming up, yeah.
Okay.
And the third time...
What weight class are you in?
So for men's physique, there's no weight class.
Oh,
so this is where Rocky kind of threw me under the bus.
Okay.
He goes, he's a pro competitor. I'm like, no, I'm going for my pro card this year.
Okay.
I am a champion competitor because I've won my medals and I've won my trophy, right? I won the overall for my division. But once you become a pro, that's when you can't weight certain amount. So for men's physique, it's way different than bodybuilding. Bodybuilding, they come check out your legs and they check out different parts of your body proportion. For men's physique, when you go to the beach and you see somebody that looks fit as hell, you're like, man, I like his body.
Yeah.
That's what men's physique is. It's attainable.
It's like the board shorts, like that type first, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like the amateur piece. And then when you get the pro card is when you're competing now in weight divisions.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's
you're still wearing the shorts, but because there's different divisions. So men's physique is the ones that wear board shorts.
Okay.
So it's still a hard look, but it's more obtainable. They really don't look at your legs. This year, they finally said they're going to look at your legs as if it doesn't make sense.
Bro, I'd show up with a thong, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm not wearing board shorts.
Then you ask,
look at this.
Then you ask, there's classic. That's when you're talking, what you're talking about. That's a different division. And then there's open bodybuilding. That's the one that you see with the G-string. And that's when you're like, yeah, that motherfucker's huge. Those looks are not obtainable without PEDs. You will never get to that level without having to cheat. Well, it's not really cheating because you still have to put in the effort, but without the extra help of the supplements. And the reason I say that is because a lot of times people are testosterone deficient. Is like if you're vitamin D deficient, what do? They give you a vitamin D supplement.
Dude, honestly, like, I mean, I know this is in another direction, but when people would take steroids, like, I remember the first time I heard about it was probably when the Cuban guy and Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa, right? Like the home run shit and Barry Bonds. And my personal opinion is they're a professional athlete. They get paid to perform. They're grown-ass men, right? They're not children. Let them fucking do it, in my mind. Mm-hmm. Obviously, children not doing it, totally get it. But also in bodybuilding, if you don't put in the work, but you're taking steroids, like you're still not going to look good.
I was going to ask you that. You know how many times you go to the gym and at least 35% of the people in there are on steroids? So I'm going to be honest because I like being transparent. So I actually do take PEDs. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie to people and be like, yeah, my look is all genetics because I do have crazy good genetics. But I actually had to take PEDs. But let me tell you the story about that because I had another coworker that his son...
Dude, fucking all your coworkers are gonna get you to start a business and shit. Maybe a clothing company.
Shout out to Rico, man. I love him, man. But he's a funny guy. His stepson. I told him one day I'm trying to put on some mass, and he's like, you should take this oral steroid. And you get me, it's not his fault. It's my fault because I should have done more research to it. You never take an oral PED without testosterone. That's your base no matter what. You have to have testosterone in your cycle, because if not, you're gonna shut off your system and now you're fucked.
See, that's one thing. Like I've never wanted to take testosterone or any PEDs because you have to cycle off of it. Or that's way my understanding back then was that, right? You take it and then you have to cycle off of it and you have to balance it out because then you're not producing your own as much. And so then now, like, you have to find yourself in a balance of always having to manage it. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't got time for that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot. Like, you should only do it if you're someone like yourself.
Yeah.
To the point that you compete, that it's like a career. It's what you do. You coach people. But for the average guy, like, why the fuck am I taking all this shit?
But that's the reason blood work is so important.
I did my blood work.
Yeah. So if you're at anywhere from 300 to 400 at the age of 30, you're fine, dude.
So I did it about 6 months ago, and the doctor, like, he showed me the entire blood work thing. I could even show you. You better know than, you probably know more than him. But he said all your levels on everything is at or above average. Okay. I'm like, what about my testosterone? I was like, where's that at? And he's like, above. He's like, you're fine. That's a spectrum,
because most people think that having 300 is above average. No.
Okay.
A high testosterone where you build crazy amount of muscle, which some people do have a natural testosterone of 700.
Wow.
That's high.
Okay.
But the thing people don't understand is when you have high testosterone, you have high conversion of estrogen. So when you see men that have gyno but are huge.
What's gyno?
So gynecomastia is when you build titties.
Okay.
Man titties. But the reason you see that on a lot of kids that go through puberty is because they had a high peak of testosterone, and you cannot have a high peak of testosterone without converting to DHT. That's what makes you go bald. Or you...
I got that shit. That's on my... Fuck yeah, I got that shit.
or estrogen. And estrogen is what causes you to be sensitive, causes nipple sensitivity, and then scar tissue to build up on your pec, where you end up building that boob. So that's the reason you see a lot of people that are big naturally, and they have a little bit of gyno. And that's the reason you don't want to be running so many PEDs, because that's a risk you
It's too high.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the reason blood work is very important. If you do decide to go, I don't condone nobody to take PEDs at all. But if you do, blood work is something you should have. And my coach, Brock, will tell everybody. He just made me have to do my blood work.
I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, let's manage it and let's do it right. Let's do it right. Let's look at it.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Without health, you're not going to live a long life.
So that's one thing that Diego sent me a text message, and he wanted me to ask you. And Diego's my brother, so I was like, hey, what questions do you want me to ask him? And let me see. He said, well, aesthetic versus health, right? So me, one of the things is, I rather focus on looking good than feeling good. Like, I could care less, right? Like, but then it goes hand in hand. Like, if you end up looking good, then maybe it helps your health. But he's more focused on health.
Yeah.
Right. So
it's a balance for me. The reason I say it's a balance is because being conscious of what you're doing and taking precaution factors to it will give you health. So pretty much give you a long life. There's a lot of bodybuilders that live a long, healthy life. The ones that don't is because a natural disaster such as a heart attack, you can't prevent that. That's genetics too, you get me? If it's in your bloodline, you get me, eventually it's gonna take you. But you can prevent it by taking heart medication, etc., etc. Is exactly the same way I tell you. There's a lot of people that are diabetic. What could happen? It runs in my family, but the reason I'm so conscious on what I eat and what I put in my body is because I know my mom's diabetic, my dad's not diabetic, but my grandmother, my grandfather were diabetic. So if I want to prevent that and have a longer life, I can still have a Diet Coke every once in a while, or a real Coke once in a while, but I'm the one that chooses what I put in my body. But I agree with you too. You want to, and that's the reason I could give you a perfect example of what you said. I want to look good, but I still want to drink soda. So I had to get used to drinking diet soda. You get me?
Yeah.
Because it does not taste the same.
No, fuck that.
But for me, it's like, you know what? I want to look good, and I still want to enjoy soda. So I had to get used to drinking diet soda for me.
Yeah, dude. It's so my brother he's doing the ice baths now.
That's
right?
actually very good. It's not just good for the body; it's good for the mind because it stimulates you in a flight or fight. There was a video of some guy from Salvador. He was talking about, I tell my ego what to do. And it made me laugh because the way he explained it makes sense, but the way he did it is so machista. You're like, damn, dude. He goes, yeah, I put myself in a ice bath every morning for 60 seconds. And I tell myself, 60 seconds. And if I jump out because I can't take it, he goes, hijo de puta, me voy a meter por 15 minutos. So he goes, I tell my ego, if I can't take it and my ego tells me, oh, it's too hot, too cold for me, I force myself back in there, but now for 15 minutes. So he goes, I keep my ego in check. So yeah, ice bath is very good, especially if you suffer with stress. Because it calms the heartbeat down and it allows you to have more oxygen to the brain. I believe so. And it allows you to process things a little bit better.
Yeah, so it's I think it goes hand in hand. I think the older I get, I do focus on my health, but you know, my priority is like I want to look good. But the thing is that looking good, I think you end up being healthier, right? If you end up if you focus on the health piece, you also look good. It's kind of like almost like the same thing. It's just like what someone's focus might be. And
then it's not just looking good. Like people really don't understand. Looking good is not just, oh, I look good. Because I guarantee you, if you look good, you feel good.
Right.
And if you feel good, what happens? You perform good. You get me? If you walk into a club and you just worked out and you know, man, I feel good. You're going to walk in there, man, I could pull this one, I could pull that one, I could do whatever I want. Walking in feeling like Rico Suave.
Bro, all the guys buy me drinks all goddamn time. And I just, you know, I'm like, hey, man, it's not for me.
It's
for him.
As long as you don't have to pay for them, I'll take it. You know what? As Latinos, we never understand that it's okay to get a compliment from another man.
Dude.
And I used to, but let me tell you, it's funny because I used to get offended when a dude used to check me out. I'll be like, oh man, I ain't gay, man. But once I got to an older age and I understood, man, gay people don't like ugly things, dude. They really don't. Like, tell me, they got those motherfuckers like
they got taste.
They got taste.
They got taste.
So if they're telling you you're good looking, you're a good looking dude.
Yeah.
But if you take that and you're like, oh man, no, he's trying to convert me. No, you think he's trying to convert you is because there's a little doubt in the back of your mind.
Nah, man. Honestly, to me, one of my first jobs was working at a movie theater, and I used to work, you know, like different jobs in the fucking movie theater, but I would get hit on a lot by older gay men as a fucking 15-year-old, and you know, because at the time, do you remember like Party Cruise?
Yeah.
Okay. So Party Cruise, like my eyebrows are all fucking thin, my hair, like, you know, a certain way. And I've always, I mean, even kind of how I'm dressed right now, like a little loud sometimes, right? I get hit on all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck, these are grown ass men. Like, you guys want to take me to a movie? No, but like, I just got used to being okay with it. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't want that. You know, it's not for me. And that's okay that you are who you are, but I always welcome love and affection and appreciation from all walks of life. My DMs, bro, believe you me, they're flooded with a lot of gay men giving me compliments.
But it comes back to how you take the compliment. Yeah. Because a compliment is just somebody admiring how you look. So if you think you're good looking, man, I'll take that, man.
Yeah, it's okay. Now, if you send me what some have sent me,
yeah,
it's an immediate block. It's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, don't send that shit to me. And I don't even go back and forth with people. Not at all. Immediate block. Like, what's the fucking point?
Because it's a boundary that gets overstepped. And you give me like, it's like perfect example. If we're having this podcast and I just start disrespecting you, you're going to be like, you know what? This podcast is over. Yeah. And you have all the right to. As human beings, you choose who you let around you.
Right. That's what your mom said.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, is rather I can be like, oh, thank you and walk away, or I can there entertain it. If I'm entertaining, it's because like they will stall you. Get me?
My dad would always tell me, Because my dad was, dude, my dad's changed so much, bro.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is from El Salvador. I mean, I'm from El Salvador. Grew up a certain way, hard life, and a very strict man. And throughout his life, he's become different. Like my mom called me and she's like, dude, your dad's gonna fucking walk the dog. He's asking, ¿a dónde hay un suéter para ponerle al perro?
Yeah.
Because he sees a dog shivering. Because my dad's always treated a dog like a dog.
Yeah.
Like, you're a dog. You're an animal. He'll treat them right, but you're an animal versus dog in the house, you know, loving, caring, making him part of the family. And so I've seen so much growth in my dad throughout the years. So much growth. And my dad told me once, he goes, if anybody ever disrespects you, says anything wrong, says anything inappropriate, just doesn't, you don't vibe with, stop them immediately.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you can't try to get it like 30 minutes later, an hour later, a couple days later. It's like, you know, Salvadorians, or if you've heard Salvadorians say, ¿Qué pasó, cerote?
Yeah.
Right? Endearment. My dad, no me digas así.
Okay.
No te voy a faltar respeto, no me faltes el respeto a mí.
Yeah.
Like, very just, I'm gonna fucking stop you. Like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Now, if it's a friend, even still, it might throw my dad off a bit because my dad does not treat people that way. My dad's like, hi. My dad's very fucking respectful, dude. And so it's to that. When people have disrespected me in the past, I think, you know, when I was younger, maybe a little bit more like in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, handle it immediately. But now it's like, oh, whatever. Like, I'll take myself away from that situation maybe a little bit quicker.
Because you know what the value of a man is, and you know the type of value that you have for yourself. So it goes back to, if you go buy a water bottle at the gas station, how much does it cost? About like $2, $3, right? You buy it at the airport, it costs you about $8. Same water bottle. You buy it on the plane, costs you about $15. What changes? The only thing that changes is where it's at. So you choose if you let people value for how you see yourself or undervalue you. Me, if I feel I'm being undervalued, I'm going to go with the people that see me for my same value. So once I started understanding that, I'm like, you know what? I have nothing to prove to nobody but myself. And it goes back to when you compete or you do anything in life, you can't go on stage and be like, hey, man, I lost because this guy was better than me. No, man, because you lost because you didn't bring the best package of yourself. And if you did, that means you have to go back and you have to invest and see where you can grow and where you can be the best version of yourself. And
how often do you train right now?
So I train 6 days out of the week. I'm supposed to only train 5 and take 2 rest days. But I do treat the gym as my way to escape and have clarity sometimes. But I do cardio that one day that I'm supposed to do rest, so I just go probably walk and do the Stairmasters just to get my mind to unwind.
Is it like a form of meditation for you? Okay.
So me, I have ADHD, so I can't really, that's the reason I'm so surprised me and you having a conversation. And people are going to be like, man, the conversation started here and ended there and came back here. But it's just how I am.
Same here, bro.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Right? And the question one more time, sorry.
What's your favorite ice cream? No, I'm kidding.
I would answer that one too, though.
So how many times a day, or how many times a week did you train? But you said
6 times a week.
Right. Okay.
But let's actually go back because I didn't finish telling you why I started taking PEDs.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And I want to make sure people understand the reason. Yeah. It wasn't just because I decided to. So my friend's stepson actually is like, yeah, you should take this and you get stronger and you build more muscle. And it was Anavor. It was an oral supplement.
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah.
I've had a friend take that one.
So I was taking it for about 6 months. I was feeling great. You know what I mean? I was getting stronger, getting a little bit more mass. But once I got off of it, I hated life like I hated. Like I wanted to die, dude. My testosterone got shot down. My friend downstairs did not want to cooperate with me. So you get me, it messed me up really bad. So I went and got some blood work done. And lucky enough, I met a guy named Sean. And I sent him my blood work. His name on Instagram is called Thick Poppy Sean. uh,
Big Poppy Sean, and yours is
the one and only Protein Poppy.
okay. The one and only Protein Poppy.
And so I reached out to him through a friend, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, can you take a look at my blood work?" Because I sent it to my coworker's stepson, and he didn't really know about it. But that's not his fault. It's my fault because at the end of the day, I'm the one that put that stuff into my body. So I sent it to my buddy, my friend Sean, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, your system is shot down, dude. I had the testosterone of an 84-year-old.
Wow.
So you gave me I was like living. I hated life completely because I didn't want to live.
Yeah.
So he's like, you have two options, and he goes, pretty much you got one option. You gotta start taking testosterone supplement. So when I started taking TRT, that is testosterone replacement therapy, to get my system to start kicking on, and then if I eventually want to get off stuff, I'll PCT, which is a post-cycle therapy to try to kick your own system on. But what people don't do when they compete is they don't do that. They just stay on TRT. But that's you run risk factors too, because if you don't do blood work and you just think, oh, I'm taking smaller doses and I'm not checking up, you could develop gyno, you could develop high cholesterol, heart attack. You get me? That your health is being compromised. And so I started taking TRT, and then that's when I started sparking interest in fitness, and that's how I ended up bringing it up to my friend Bowie that worked at night, and that ended up just having a roller coaster effect.
Yeah, dude, I've seen so many kids, and I call them kids because a lot of them are my brother's age. The TRT, the Anabol or Anavar, creatine. I'm like, fucking creatine. You're carrying a bunch of water weight, like, you know what I mean? Like in my mind.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I don't want to be on something. I went to this grand opening of a location, and the doctor, he provides those type of hormone therapy. And it's not hormone therapy. What would you call it?
So he's an endocrinologist, the person that provide does PEDs, so
like steroids.
Performance enhancement drugs.
So they'll check, like, your blood work.
Yeah.
What do you need? And then they'll inject you with that shit. And he was saying, like, yeah, like I've been injecting myself with I think TRT or something like that. He goes, my hair looks better, and this is how I feel. And I'm just like, fuck, bro. He's like, but then I stopped taking them, and man, he goes, it was fucking bad. Kind of like what you're describing.
Yeah.
And this is from a doctor who has a clinical practice for that shit. He's like, it's just knowing what the actual side effects are going to be. Like, you have to monitor this. It's not just like anybody fucking take it without anything. And I think that's a mistake, right? Like, that's a mistake where people end up fucking up.
Yeah. And then piggybacking off that same thought, it makes me laugh because a lot of times people are like, I don't want to take anything because I don't want to have road rage, or I don't want to be an asshole. That's a myth too, dude. Because if this is something that I had, because that was one of my fears. I'm like, dude, I'm a hothead.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't want to be a fucking even bigger hothead. But if you're an asshole without PEDs, all it's gonna do is make you. It enhances your personality. I'm a happy person. I'm not an asshole. So it made me just happier. You get me? But if you're an asshole, that's your personality. What is PEDs going to do? It's just going to enhance it. You're going to be a bigger asshole.
Yeah, it's just like social media.
Yeah.
All right, so, yeah.
I get what you mean.
No, seriously, man. Because sometimes people said, it's like, is social media good or bad? It's like, well, fuck. Are you a distracted person? Are you easily distracted? Mm-hmm. Well, you're fucking going to get more distracted with social media, right? But if you use it for different things, like the lady yesterday, she was talking about... it's where she connects with her kids, and she can kind of see what her kids are doing. So I don't think social media is bad. I don't think these what are they?
Performance enhancement drugs.
Performance enhancing drugs are bad. Keep them away from kids.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're a grown ass person, just like caffeine. Right.
Oh, that's the thing. I can't give that up, dude. Coffee it's my biggest
sugar
addiction. Yeah.
Nicotine, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's so many things that this is the example I would say, because sometimes people will say, like, about my smoking, I know it's not good. Fuck it, I know it's not good. But I've made a choice.
Yeah.
A conscious adult grown man fucking choice that I enjoy smoking. I've quit before. I decided to pick it up again. But I also don't eat fucking bags of Doritos every fucking day, just like many other people do. I don't drink coffee with sugar. I don't drink sodas. Like, there's so many other healthy, conscious choices that I make, but you're sitting there like 80 pounds overweight telling me like I'm making the bad choice. Like, we all make bad choices.
You ever heard people say you choose your own poison? At
Exactly.
the end of the day, that's what I said. Tell people too, is at the end of the day, you're going to have things that are bad for you in your life. The only thing you can do is make sure you enjoy them.
Yeah, there you go.
Because at the end of the day, what's the point of eating? If you're okay with being obese and you enjoy eating chips and you don't mind dying the next day and saying, you know what, I died the way I wanted to die. That's your choice.
That's a choice.
You get me? Like, that's the beautiful part about life. Like, life is very simple. The thing we have, only thing we have is choice. Like, you choose if you go left or you go right. And depending what way you go is how you end up.
That's so fucking true.
And I hate when people say, and it goes back to people try to say, my last year in college, they asked me, what's your philosophy in life? And everybody's answer was the same, and it'll piss me off, dude. Everybody's answer is always, what happens to you, it rather changes you or makes you who you are. That's bullshit, dude. You know why I could tell you it's bullshit? Look at the fucking people in jail. How many times people go to jail and like, oh man, I got caught. I'm going to change my life when I get out. They get out 2 weeks later, what they do? They recommit and they're back in jail. I don't believe that. I believe the people you meet in life change the direction your life goes. You get me? Because I know when I met the mother of my kids, my life changed for better. I know when I met Brock, my life changed for better. You get me? It wasn't the decisions I was making. It was the people I was meeting that they were like, you know what? Let's go this way instead of going the same way we go. I see people as stop signs that telling you, hey, man, this is where you get to choose if you want to go one way or you want to go the same way.
So I agree with you, but I would add that it is a choice though. So for example, like you said, you got sober, right?
Yeah.
I got sober. And many people were in my life, like trying to give me advice, trying to get me to see that I was fucking up. And after I became sober, I would get so many calls, dude, and text messages and at the time in Facebook, where it was parents, a lot of women. Mm-hmm. It was parents of children and then women for me to talk to their fucking husbands. Like, because I was a prime example of what it was to why not to drink. How the fuck did you stop drinking? Like, what happened? Can you talk to my husband? Can you talk to my child? And I felt that my response was dickish, but it's still the same fucking response, and it's the truth. I can't make them change. You can only change when you want to change and when you're ready. Especially like with alcohol or with drugs. Like, until you hit rock bottom, whatever your pit is of like, fuck, I'm done. No advice, no friendship, no relationship person you meet's gonna fucking stop you. Like, can it help? Of course.
It would just change the perspective. Remember how we started? It's all about perspective.
And it's like, I remember this dude, bro. I was in Santa Monica, and I've talked about him before. And I told him, I said, fuck, dude, I wish I could drink. I wish I could fucking drink. And you know, gray hair, fucking feel the breeze from the beach at night, quiet little lonely street in Santa Monica. And he says, you know what, man? He goes, we want to be normies. That's what we call them. I'm like, what? Who? He's like, the people who can drink and live a normal life.
Dude, that you saying that kind of hit because it's something I tell myself all the time.
I'm like, I fucking wish. I wish I could. Hey, let's go have a beer. All right, cool, man. Dap it up. I'll see you later. Let's go. You know, that's it. But no, we're at the fucking strip club with that girl at Diamonds, $800, fucking popping bottles and shit. And it just, I wish I could. I can't. And I had to make that choice. And it's like a balance scale, right? So all the benefits I get from drinking, like all the benefits I don't get from drinking. And then there's like, I have a good time. Maybe I'm a little bit looser. Like the ugly girl's a little prettier all of a sudden. Like, but all the things that I lose, and I don't want to lose the person I found again, which is myself. I fucking found myself again.
See, I can piggyback off that as well, because the reason I was able to quit so easily too is because I don't like who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, there's only two things that happen when I drink. I'd rather I'm gonna fight or I'm gonna get naked. One of the two, dude. So you get me? For the way the reason I
you
say
don't
that,
fight naked, bro. That's the only way to fight.
No. I haven't got that. I think that's rock bottom. I think I was just above that. But you get what I mean? Like it made me realize that I drink and I give people a show.
Yeah.
And I noticed that the reason I was doing it was because I felt wanted. My whole life, all I wanted was my dad to want me. And it took me to really dig deep and say, you know what? I was chasing being accepted because I was never accepted by my dad's family or my dad. So what I did, I used alcohol as and it's always easier to blame somebody's mistakes for yours.
Yeah, man. I the alcohol piece for me was just it was this dude in Santa Monica said, put the shovel down. He goes, oh, you motherfuckers in here. Big ass Debo looking guy, man. Big black guy, fucking piercings and like that. And he's like, the first thing you need to do, he goes, you dug a hole. And he's like, the only way to patch up that hole is to put dirt in it, right? With new actions, with the new decisions. He goes, but the first thing is you got to put the shovel down.
And realize what you've done.
And I'm just like, I'm sitting there, bro. And I could see people, right? I could see people just be like, oh, fuck. Like, fucking rolling their eyes. This motherfucker, like, giving us a fucking speech and shit. Meanwhile, I'm like, damn, that fucking hit. Like, put the shovel down. Fuck. So what does that mean? Put the bottle down.
Yeah.
Like, just put it down, bro. Like, find yourself again and then work on yourself. And then, you know, it's like one day at a time. Like, I know it sounds fucking cliche, but I just didn't drink today. That's all it is. I just didn't drink today. I'm not going to drink today. Yeah. I'm cool today. Like, don't think about tomorrow, because then the fucking anxiety starts kicking in. Like, oh, fuck. Like,
there's two quotes that I wanted to tell you. One of them is a guy said, whenever you feel like quitting, just do it one more day. Like, whenever you feel like drinking, like wanting a drink, just be like, let me be sober one more day. And I guarantee you, going through that one day will change everything. It just takes one day to make a difference, right? And then how you said is that we want to be normies, right? That one hit. But the reason it hit was because a man was complaining about his shoes till a man with no feet walks in. You get me? Like, for us, lucky enough, we quit drinking, but we're healthy, right? Imagine you see somebody that has kidney damage, his liver's completely fried, and it's gonna die. You get me? Like, the man that complains about his shoes will continue complaining until the man with no feet walks in.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I can relate to that a lot, because sometimes you just want to tell yourself, man, I wish I can do that.
I wish I could, but
I guarantee you there's people that are drinking and say, man, I wish I could do what you did.
Bro, I get it all the time.
Right? So
they're like, how the fuck did you quit drinking? I'm like,
as human beings, we're never happy. When you want something and you have it, then you don't want it.
Yeah.
And that's something that amazes me about life, because how many times, like, when I hear a song, I could give you a dumb scenario. When you ever hear a song, you're like, man, I could hear this song the rest of my life because you just like it. You hear it like 50 times, like, yeah, no, I don't want to hear it no more.
Shit. So I know I want to ask you, tomorrow's your daughter's birthday?
Yeah, February 14th.
And what's her name?
Avea.
Avea, happy birthday, Avea.
Yeah, Avea.
Did you get her a gift?
Yeah. Well, I got her something from the M&M store. They had a cup that said half of her name, because to get her name is kind of hard.
Yeah.
And she's a sweetheart, man. See, I feel bad for whoever she ends up with, because you know how they say that the first daughter is the male version of the female version of the dad?
Is that what they say?
They say that, dude. I see herself in me and my man.
Right, poor dude.
I gave her mom a hell, dude. I'm like, man, I could only imagine the poor dude that ends up with her, man. She's gonna make him. And then her dad, hopefully I'm still big and stuff like that. Like, you want me to call my daddy?
You show up, man. Like bad boys, like when they come to the door and pick up the girl.
Yeah, no, that's the love of my life, man. I thought I love their mom. No, man, for her, I'll burn this whole world to the ground with a smile on my face, dude.
Yeah.
Like, she changed my life completely, and I'm so grateful for her. But the one I'm mostly grateful to is my son Nathan, dude.
How old's Nathan?
Nathan's 7, going to be turning 7. And you know, when people ask you who saved your life, that kid saved my life. Because when I gave up hope, he was the reason why I stayed above water. And the only person I could thank for that is God, you get me? Because my whole life, I've always said, man, why God gave me this hard life? Until I finally understand that he doesn't give his warriors that are weak hard lives, because he knows what's the point of breaking somebody that's going to break down. Like, if I know that you can't carry 50 pounds, why would I give you 50 pounds? I would want to make your life as hard as possible, but still make you manage. So I know the battles that I've gone through and I still have to go through. When I feel pain, that pain goes to God. And when I win, all that glory goes to God as well. And most people don't see it's always good to love God when you're good. Nah, I love God when I'm at my worst. Because the only reason I'm going to keep going is because of him. Like, I love my kids to death, but I know if God takes them, I know that's his will. You get me? I'm not going to be like, hey, you can't take what's mine no more, because none of this stuff is ours, dude. You got to appreciate, and that's the reason I envy you being able to tell people you love them so much, because you gave me, like, none of it's ours. And you got to appreciate it while you have it here and now. But the only thing I know is this year I'm going for that IFBB Pro card, and it's going to happen.
When's your competition?
We're aiming to do it in December.
Okay.
We're trying to take a whole year of trying to grow as much as possible.
You got to bulk up?
Yeah.
How much you got to gain?
I don't know. I'm surprised. He
20 pounds?
I think way more.
What?
Yeah. But the thing I like about him is that he wants to do it cleanly. Okay. And that's harder. Because everybody, I hate meeting people, dude, and you ask them, and you ask them, hey, dude, you literally, you have potential, but like, what's going on? And they always hit you with, oh, I'm bulking. No, motherfucker, you're just eating what the hell you want and just using bulking as an excuse. And I was doing that too before this trip, you get me? And the reason I tell you that is because when he told me that shit, man, I got in my feelings, dude. I didn't want to come do this trip. I didn't want to do this podcast. But I had to really go back and look into it and be like, you know what? It's not on him. It's on me.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. When you watch this podcast, you will look heavier than you are right now. I promise you. Every single person that's been on the podcast, I'm not exaggerating, every single one has sent me messages. Why the fuck do I look so fat? Girls, guys. I've had petite, tiny, little girls that weigh like 105. Yeah. And they're like, why do I look so fucking fat? So if you're conscious of that, I'm already telling you right now.
Don't worry, we'll blame it on the bulk.
Okay, we'll blame it on the bulk. And part of the bulking and eating and doing it cleanly, are you going to take any supplements to be able to help you accomplish that?
That I'm still seeing what route my coach wants to go.
Uh-huh.
And the reason I believe in his vision and whatever he tells me to do, we're going to do, is because to become an IFBB pro is actually something quite hard. Mm-hmm. And I feel the only way I can do it is by actually doing everything he tells me to do by exactly how it is. So I would love to go ahead and do another podcast with you after we do get this IFBB pro card, just to show people that, you know what, go after your dreams and don't leave nothing on the table. Something I tell people always at the gym is go back and get your change. And like, what the fuck does that mean? Is, dude, if you're at the gym or even anything in life and you feel that you could do one more of anything, is that Kobe Bryant mentality. Like, don't leave nothing in the gas tank. When you die saying, you know what, I gave it my all. So no matter how far I went, I know that I left nothing in the gas tank. So that's the reason I tell people, go back and get your change. And they always look at me like I'm crazy. Like, what did I drop, a quarter or something? No, dude, you left like 3 sets that you could have still done.
Yeah, that's one thing. When I was younger, man, I used to work out more. I used to work out a lot more. Now I don't. Now it's more like hit and circuits, right? So yeah. Like 30 minutes or less. I fucking hate working out. I hate it. I only work out because I don't want to fucking get fat. I want to look good. But it's that's why you need a trainer. That's why you need a coach, because they see things that you don't see, and they're willing and they're able to push out those 2 or 3 extra reps that you don't get out on your own. It's like, if someone's yelling at you, why the fuck did you just get it up 3 more times?
Yeah.
You obviously could have done it, but you didn't have a coach to help you get that last rep out.
For me, dude, I went through the competition that I won my first place, second place, and I won my overall. So I won 2 first places and my second place, right? I went through it without having a training partner. I worked out with people here and there, but that's the reason I tell people at the gym, like you're a lion, dude. You walk with. I'm like, dude, I'm a tiger. What do you mean? Lions hunt in packs. No, I can go get this shit alone, dude.
There you go.
And tigers are one of the only animals of prey that do it alone. But I ran into the same person we know, Rocky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to everything. Always goes back to roots of your childhood or traumas, right? So the reason I took on Rocky as a challenge and took him on as a personal training client was because he would come with his 2 kids, his 3 kids, but I would always see him with the twins. And I was like, man, this guy's a good dad. So it sparked interest in me. Next thing you know, I'm over here talking to him. I'm telling him, man, you're a good dad, dude. You're doing things right, man. I admire that about you, man, because you gave me not having a father and seeing a father be a father. I tell him, man, you're doing a great job. And then he goes, yeah, man, but I'm trying to feel better, trying to look good. And then I'm like, you know what? We started working out here and there. And then he started being, man, dude, I'm really trying to change my life. I'm like, you really want to change your life? Do what I tell you. Eat what I tell you. Let me be your coach, but follow it. And we'll change your life. He's dropped 50 pounds, and his A1C has never been better. So his diabetes is the best it's been in years, and he's eating like crazy amount of rice, or sometimes it's more of a salad. But I respect him because he said, you know what, I want to do it for my health, and he's doing it. You get me? And then the twins are funny, dude. The twins, one of them told me like, we just want to be told apart. I'm like, I can tell apart now. So I have one on a bulk and one on a cut. so Aaron and Drew, man, my bad. I'm like, all right, the fat one is Aaron, the skinny one is Drew. And then it's gonna get hard because I'm gonna switch them in 3 weeks from now. One's gonna go on a bulk and one's gonna go on a cut. So it's gonna take some time to get used to. But a lot of people don't do what I did. You get me? Everybody wants to charge, but I did it as a challenge to see if I could be a good coach. And it's the same thing I told the twins. I was like, man, a lot of times we want to go after a goal. And my goal this year is to become an IFBB pro. But what about if God doesn't have that intention for me? You get me? Everybody is stubborn on this is what I want. But what if that's not what he wants for you? What if my destiny is to be a great coach? The best coach you could find, you get me? Even though I think I found the best one, Brock, you get me? Gotta give him his credit. But you get me? Sometimes you're not meant for that. But you're on the right path. But you just, in the same way, they want to be rappers, man. They're good rappers. But what about they're better producers? You know, you never know unless you're willing to give up that dream. And Inky Johnson says it perfectly. If your dream is what defines you, and then you lose that dream, are you still the same person?
It's having a target to aim at. Jordan Peterson has talked about it. Having a target. Mm-hmm. As you're aiming towards that target, your focus might change because the closer you get, the clearer you could see it. Right? So I'm throwing from right here to the fucking TV.
Yeah.
But if I get closer, I might see something else that's right next to it. Be like, like this is where I want to go. But you're aiming towards something. Like aim towards something. That's why you should always have goals.
Yeah.
It's you want to have immediate goals, you want to have short-term, long-term goals. So kudos to you, man.
But I remember how I told you my philosophy is the people you meet change your life.
Yes,
that's my philosophy. And remember,
I agree.
I met you, and you were like, "Man, you got to open up your page publicly." And then I was like, "You know what? If I'm gonna do it, let me look out what supplements do I like taking." And that's the reason today me and you spoke earlier. And I was like, "Yeah, man, you know what? I really enjoy taking this supplement." And I gave some to Rocky, Panda supplements. They have one called Panta. And the only reason I bought it because I love Pantera, the rock band, right? So I was like, man, let me try it out.
So you're a metalhead like fucking Rocky.
A country boy more.
Oh, okay.
I'm a deep down south country boy. Love country as my favorite music. But rather than that, I go to heavy metal.
Okay.
Shout out to my boy James that works with me. That's another one of my coworkers.
Okay.
You see me and him together, dude, you'll be like, never in your life. They're good. They're best friends. One looks like Santa Claus and one looks like a guy you pick up at Home Depot.
Yeah.
But he exposed me to a lot of metal, and I love metal. And then everybody loves hip hop. But I tell people my playlist is rather I'm a hardcore gang member or a country boy, cowboy,
Yeah.
or I'm depressed. It could be either or.
We're listening to the same playlist, man. So Panda, the one that you gave him, which is it like a multivitamin or what's the?
So they have all types of supplements. They have proteins. They have pre-workouts. Like I said, I'm addicted to coffee, dude. So this is the only one I ever found that for one scoop has 350 milligrams of caffeine. That's a crazy amount.
So it's like pre-workout.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Okay.
But they also have supplements such as greens. So if you don't eat greens, well, a lot of people don't eat vegetables in their life. You get me? Sometimes you can just take a scoop of greens, and it might not make things better, but it's actually gonna give you what you need to hit those macronutrients. Because there's a lot of fibers and a lot of vitamins that come from things as asparagus, broccoli, and cabbage and all that stuff.
I've always had a hard time taking supplements because when I used to take supplements, which was like my amino acids, BCAAs, like protein, daily multivitamin. Again, I worked out when I was in my 20s, and it's like I know how, I have a general idea of than most of working out. Not like at your level or anybody like professionally at all. But it would really fucking hurt under my rib cage right here on the right side. And as soon as I stopped taking them, I'm like peachy.
Yeah.
So it's like I felt like I was loading up too much on whatever organ is here, kidneys, liver. I don't know what the fuck is here.
Things gonna be your kidneys.
So then I would have to drink a lot of water to like really flush out because it was just super painful, bro. And now I'm like, okay, I'm very leery of taking supplements.
A lot of times is how you take it too. A lot of people take pre-workout, they take any supplement or protein shake, and then they go work out right away. You have to understand your body has to digest everything you put in it. You get me? But I'm gonna give people a secret that, like, if they want to buy something from Panda Supplements, like I said, they can use code P, so PP Poppy. It's funny how they gave me that one. Just sounds like PP Poppy. PAPY. So P Poppy.
So triple P?
Yeah, double P.
Oh, double
Poppy.
P.
If they want to get a discount code and they can get it cheaper so they can try it out, right?
Okay.
But if they don't want to do that, it's very simple too. You don't have to spend crazy amount of money, and that's what people have to understand. You can take sodium bicarb, that is baking soda, take that with some salt and water, and drink that, and you'll have the best pump you ever have at the gym. And how many people have baking soda in the fridge? Everybody.
Is it the same one that you actually bake with?
That one I don't know. All I know is sodium bicarb, but it's the ones that people put in their fridge to make their fridge not smell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you take a teaspoon of that with a teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt with 16 ounces of water, let it digest for 30 minutes, then go to the gym, you will have the biggest pump of your life when you start working out, because one provides oxygen to the muscle, and the other one it will go ahead and let you absorb more water to the muscle as well. So they work right next to them. But the secret for the pain is taking Tums, having Tums on you. Because because it brings up your pH acid.
Yeah.
So in order to balance that, you take Tums, and then you don't feel that cramps, or you don't feel, or you're not cramping.
Yeah.
And sodium bicarb, what it does, it allows you to work out longer, because the reason you get fatigued is because you get that lactic acid, right? So what it does, it prevents that.
That's why it fucking hurts and burns.
Yeah, we could blame it on that. Don't worry, man. I'm gonna start saying that too. Why can't you do more rep? It's a lactic acid.
It's a lactic acid. All right. So I know we have dinner tonight, and we're gonna have to wrap it up. But I could keep talking to you for a long ass time. So I texted Diego. I said 3 fitness questions you want me to ask, and he said, "Why am I so fat? How can I be less fat? And what's the fastest way to not be fat?"
Okay. That's a good one. Oh, man.
So I guess what's the fastest way out of all of those, right? What's the fastest way to lose weight? I think that's a pretty easy one.
It's very simple. It's diet. But you can break that question very simple. So everybody's different to different carbs. Some people just want to be like, you have to eat chicken and rice. Chicken and rice is a lot for bodybuilders because it's just simple, easy, you grab and go, right? A lot of people don't know that potatoes are sometimes even better than rice because when you eat certain type of potatoes, they're more carb saturated that your stomach enjoys it more and you feel fuller longer. So, and also you want to eat things you enjoy. And the secret of not being fat is diet. No matter what you want to do, you can take all the fucking PEDs you want in the world. All you're gonna do is be strong and fat. That's it.
You'd be like a strong man.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But for them, it makes sense because and let me tell you the difference about that too, because people like to be like, oh, you compete. So strong man, people that do powerlifting, their objective is always to just lift weight from A to B as good as they can. But the point is to lift that weight. A bodybuilder is different because my job is to go to the gym, and if I have 2 hours, how can I put my body under so much tension, even for an hour, and be like, all right, my body's under stress. Now I go eat and sleep and do it again. So it's not just lifting something, it's lifting it in a way that your body feels that tension and that stretch. So another secret people don't do is they want to diet, but the best thing you could do is build muscle. Because how many people you see that are skinny fat?
Skinny fat. Well, you mean fucking barriga. Like, they look pregnant?
No, so skinny fat is somebody that looks skinny with clothes, and as soon as they take off their clothes, they're fat. And the reason I say that is because a lot of people...
That sounds very deceitful, my friend.
But the reason I tell you that is because there's a lot of people that like, I'm not fat, but when I take off my shirt, I don't feel good. It's because you don't have enough muscle underneath all that to actually have a frame. You get me? You need to have a frame. So a lot of times that's the reason bulking is so important, because you want to gain muscle. And once you gain that muscle, you want to cut down, because then you start having that V taper. Dude, when I stepped on stage, I had a waist of 20, I think it was a 26.
Jesus Christ.
My waist was tiny, dude.
That's tiny, bro.
And going back to
how tall are you?
6 foot.
Yeah.
And I tell you,
like this.
So I told people this quote. This is one of my quotes, and for him to understand too, is fear. This is something that I tell people because it is my quote. I've never heard nobody else say it. Is fear is the trigger point of something beautiful waiting to happen or a disaster waiting to happen. But how's the only way you find out? You got to pull it. So the only way he's going to know what works for him is trying different diets and actually trying to execute them. Discipline is the best thing you can have in the world, because without discipline, you won't get far.
And it's not motivation, because discipline, you do it whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
I think on this point for women, there's a lot of girls that have the misconception that if they lift the weight, that they're going to get bulky.
No.
And my understanding is, for example, HIIT, right? Like high intensity training. If you're lifting small weight, you can actually turn it into cardio while building muscle. And don't look at the scale, because obviously muscle weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
So look at how you feel and how you look. Would you agree with that?
100%. My coach actually got on my case, because he's like, dude, you got to stop checking your weight. So what happens a lot is that you put a target. I want to weigh this much, right? The more you think about it, the more stress you put your body. And your body has something. Your body is smart as hell, dude. So once it starts feeling stress, like there's people that compete and they look great right before the day of the competition, and then they're just panicking, and then the next day they look like shit. You look flat, bloated. But it's because your body tries to preserve itself. So you said the perfect example is, don't focus on the scale, focus on how you look. If you wake up and you like what you see in the mirror, keep going in that direction. So for your brother, the thing I'll do is seek out somebody that can tell you what's your maintenance calories, and then do cardio and eat underneath those maintenance calories. What happens then? You start losing fat.
Caloric deficit?
Yeah. But having cardio in it, even when you're on it, because if you're losing weight, you're going to lose even faster weight. You're going to lose weight faster because you're burning more calories.
So the last two things, great answer. So, and you can choose to answer both or just one of them. So, okay. Sugar versus salt, which is worse and why? And then resistance training versus cardio.
All right, let's answer both because they're very, very important.
Okay.
So sugar is worse because sugar gets broken down, but sugar is as bad as idolized salt. What you want in your body is Celtic salt, because Celtic salt has 32 minerals. Your body is composed, I believe, of 86 or around there. So that's a good amount of minerals into your body. And sugar, no matter what, it creates an insulin spike. And you rather have those from your natural foods. You get me? If you eat carbs, you want to have that instant spike. You want to have as minimal sugar, refined sugar in your diet. Same thing as minimal refined salt. And then for resistance and cardio, they go together because it's like when you ask a guy, do you like a woman with a bigger rear end or a front end? You want a balance. You don't want something too big, too small. You want it to be balanced. That
don't topple over, ladies.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So you give me
Or go backwards.
It's a balance, and what fits for you is the same thing what fits for women. I would suggest finding workouts that best benefit your body, that you know your body likes, and just have. If you hate doing cardio, just walk. You get me?
Stairmaster. I know a lot of guys a lot of friends that are like super yoked, dude, like big dudes, right? And they just do Stairmaster. They're not running. They're just like, I mean, obviously, I don't know. I think when you're doing the Stairmaster at an incline, it taps into certain stored fat or whatever technique it is that they're fucking using. But, or you can work out and do shortened breaks. Yeah. Right, and then multiple exercises, and maybe not heavyweight lifting, which is what I would do when I was younger.
But a lot of people ego lift, and that's what I
all that shit.
I strongly suggest. I rather lift a weight correctly, and the guy next to me, let's say I'm lifting 25, and the guy next to me is lifting 55, but he's fucking swinging his weight, and I'm over here contracting the muscle because I'm gonna break it down for him simple. To gain muscle is two simple things: is a contraction and a stretch. So if you're over here swinging it, you're not having a full stretch and a full contraction, right? But if you're picking up the weight, you contract the muscle, and when you're going back down, you stretch it slowly, then you're getting the most of your workout.
You're tearing your muscle.
Exactly.
And this is the thing is, you're not lying to anyone.
Yeah.
You're lying to your fucking self. Like what? Like that's the thing when I see people, dude, like I hate going to the gym. But when I see people, it's like, dude, you can't lift that shit.
Yeah.
You can't fucking lift it. Like, I'll do 25s. Like, look, you know, I'll get it. I'll get it. So, any last words that you'd like to leave the audience with? And before you do, I want to thank you, man. I want to thank you for taking the time to meet with me. We both came out here, and we have a great friend. Shout out to Rocky.
Yeah.
For putting this together, for Chin Chin, you know, for feeding us.
Yeah, Chin Chin has been, my coach will be pissed off, but I've been eating, and you can eat clean. You get me?
Bro, the fucking food is delicious.
We were at Chin Chin, all I had was raw seafood, that's pure protein, and probably like 100 grams of carbs, so like a little bit of white rice. So you can be healthy and eat out, you get me? So
choices.
Yeah.
Choices. So big shout out to Rocky and Chin Chin, and again, I thank you, man.
Yeah.
So any last words to?
So for me, audience? I do want to tell the people, if you guys want to make a change and feel that you just need somebody to help you out, they can always reach out to me. I'm very time limited, but I love helping out people. And remember this, that the question you don't ask, you don't know. So if you feel that you're going one way, the only way you're going to know is if you ask the right question. And I appreciate you for having me here. People hearing my story. The best part of everybody's story is not done being written. So you determine where that goes. And I hope to come back next when we're done with this IBB Pro card, and we'll go from there.
Fuck yeah, man. And right now we're going to go watch a show, have some dinner. So I appreciate you, man.
Oh, man.
Toodles.
All right. That was good.
Is it good? Nervous? No?
Yeah, man. I didn't know where to stay here.
Just talk to me.
Yeah, I thought we were comfortable. What's all that? Yeah, man. I'll just talk to you. Yeah. But your brother's funny, dude. Your brother's fucking funny.